looks like the red, yellow, green. Yeah, green's the color I want. Here we go. Yo. Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokemon D&D.
Pokemon Dedenne and Dedenne Dark Heroes.
Wow.
No,
Welcome back
no,
to
no. Get it right. It's
Welcome back to Pokemon Mystery Dungeons and Dragons. Where perfect apple a day definitely does not keep Guildmaster Wigglytuff away, but it does, however, give Chatot a throbbing headache.
Well, they haven't appeared yet. But... yeah, that works.
It was the best joke. I couldn't come up with anything better this week.
Yeah, that's okay. I didn't have anything, so you're already a step up above me. All right, so I don't have our chat loaded up. So
People are saying we're live. If that's what you're asking.
Okay.
We're live and we're here.
Well, after 2 weeks travel, this is the recap where our Dark Heroes sorted things out among their ranks. There's a little talking between everyone, making sure everything was Gucci.
It got real heated really quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rodney
Very
Roland doing his best to be the glue to the team. I was just looking
and
at
Lucius, for once in his life, being absolutely mad.
at the Raff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
they
It's horrible that the cats do not get along.
they docked in Lively Town and I wouldn't say very craftily entered the Expedition Society building, but they got in nonetheless. Where they met Topaz inside, having a meeting with Mawile, who they just let go. Didn't want to start a fight. Didn't want to ruin everything they worked up to this point.
You're trying to antagonize us.
Maybe. But they then explained the situation to Mawile of the Expedition Society, who bought it, for the lack of a better term, and is working in conjunction with their quest to go to the moon. But in order to do that, they need some advanced technology to reach there. And what might have that technology is a long dead, thought to be long dead civilization of the Fairy Kingdom, which were the first nation to get conquered in the War of 18 Kingdoms. And so they are on their way to the Mist Continent after they get their ethereal crystal analyzed to see what it's made of and what it can do. And they're currently in the Expedition Society. I think they're just in a room together, one of the spare rooms. And that's where we'll leave you. Where we'll let you take off. You were escorted to a spare room. Actually, I'll say like there's 2 per room, so maybe choose who you want to go with. There are 6 of you in total, I believe, plus the NPCs. Yes. So yeah, you're in pairs.
I suppose Lucius will pal around with Mimikyu, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, get to the one who doesn't talk because you don't want to do this anymore.
I want to pal around with Sora.
Okay, and I guess that leaves Raffa and Henry. All right, so but Raffa is not there at the moment. She's helping Mawile with the analyzation of the crystal.
The analysis.
And then an analysis. Is there anything you maybe would do in these little rooms? They're not anything spectacular. There's just there's a window like kind of where you can see lively town. There's it's still kind of the morning really. There's 2 beds there. Maybe like a little stand to put your belongings. Just a lot of tat around the room.
I can't think of
No.
anything in particular.
All right.
I suppose what Rodney would do is that he has the movable rod, stuck in place, like right above him, and he's basically like doing pull-ups and gymnastics around with it.
Oh,
Basically,
working
he's
out with the immovable rod. That's pretty cool.
He's exercising with the immovable rod. That's right, Ren.
Maybe like testing your balance standing on top of it.
In your cat
Absolutely.
games.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll look more like an Incineroar than Raffa.
You have the height. Okay, so you certainly have a lot of time, but there aren't many. As you were told, the other members are off at different parts of the world helping out any way they can. So, is there anything you want to do, or do you want to just enjoy the luxury of a room instead of a ship where you're probably getting sick?
Well, Henry's probably just practicing his magic and sort of essentially moving his hands around and saying random syllables he heard around Naginata to see if he could come across something.
Okay. Raffa, you're currently helping Mawel. So if you're just kind of doing this downtime stuff, we'll fast forward to later then, when you finish the analysis with Mawel. And what you've learned about this crystal, Mawel says to you, it's really nothing she's ever seen before. There doesn't seem to be any other crystal in the books you kind of went through, or just any documents of anything, of any rock that glows as like this sublime as the rock you have right now. It's really kind of one of a kind. Well, I guess 4 of a kind. But that's where it all stops. The crystal has all the properties of just a common sedimentary rock. There's no energy source within it that can be harnessed. The glow appears to be just a mutation from the earth where you got it from. And the extent of that trait is that's all it does. It just makes it glow like that. The weapon.
So it has.
What was that?
It has some form of harmless radiation. That's something. Seems more like something used in special effects within my place.
Yeah, actually, that would be the perfect example.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, to put it into perspective, the weapon you also studied, the Revenant weapon you also studies, has a strange otherworldly power within it that can't really be explained with conventional tools that you have at the disposal in Mawel's room. But the crystal is just a pretty looking rock. It's perplexing why they would resort to kidnapping someone to obtain an object like this from a fairy tale land. albeit it turned out to be real.
Uh, I think Fire Ally is currently occupied.
Uh-oh. I hope he heard all that.
Sorry?
Are you here,
Fire
Fire?
Ally is muted.
Uh-oh.
Okay, for the sake of convenience, I'll say this was reported to you all. Maybe have a little meeting here, and it's explained to you that what this rock is pretty much a pretty looking prop.
Pretty looking prop.
I
So
will
then,
take my ethereal crystal back, thank you.
The
that
voice of
doesn't make
death-
any sense.
The voice of death said the same thing. She told us as well that it seemed fairly unlikely that it would be able to do anything. But at the same time, if it can't, then why are the Chaos Guild so interested in it?
That's what I'd like to know, but honestly, I can't see why they would want something like this. Before, I would have strongly advised you not giving it to them, but now after studying this thing, I just can't see them doing anything nefarious with it.
You never know. They might know something that we don't.
Do you think it's possible that what they're looking for, they think is this, but they might be wrong and looking for something entirely different?
I wouldn't really know. It's mostly exploration teams in the Grass Continent who have taken on finding out about the Chaos Guild. We haven't been. That hasn't really been in our motives to do yet.
Fair enough. So, do you think it is worth a potential risk to give it to them in exchange for the life they kidnapped?
All I know is if we can save a Pokemon from them, then with reluctance, I would say you just give it to them. I wouldn't say this without having a backup plan. We still have a few more of these crystals, and if they do try something with it, we can attempt to reverse engineer whatever they manage to do with it. But for the time being, there's a 0% chance of they could do anything with this. I'd be more worried if you gave them that weapon.
Fair enough. Okay, then, what I think we should do is I'll take an ethereal crystal and we'll leave the rest here just in case. And we should also leave our revenant weapons back here as well, so they can't take it from us at any point in time.
I would suggest that. My thoughts exactly. I would suggest that too. You leave anything you found in Niflheim here.
Okay, so here's my. Okay, so here's my revenant slaying rapier. Here's my glittery plastic straw. Here's my my sheet music book of popular songs of Niflheim. Here's my guitar keychain.
It's like the cartoon where you're just pulling all this stuff out.
These are all the things I found in Niflheim. Also, the rapier's broken, so.
Yeah. That's all right. It's more of preventing these villains from getting it.
Oh my god! I can't believe I remembered the exact things that I got in Niflheim.
I mean, I have an inventory sheet.
I have an inventory sheet too, but it's like
that's some of the random
but the
shit.
glittery straw and the guitar keychain I only remember because it's like, oh yeah, that gotcha machine was in Niflheim.
Yeah.
I'm keeping the boots. I don't care if they came from Niflheim.
The boots.
Yeah, I technically got them in Niflheim.
If you want the uh, I mean, if you want the guitar keychain, I personally would say that the guitar keychain would suit me well, especially if it has some sort of ethereal properties, because I am looking to expand my magic in all ways.
Well, I don't want to confiscate your belongings. It's just don't let them get it.
No, take the guitar. The guitar keychain will prove useful.
Just sets it on a table. Puts it in one of those drawers.
Yes.
I basically wasn't there for Niflheim, so I don't think I have anything on my person that was from there.
Oh boy, this is a dilemma.
But if there is any, I'm not taking them out.
Okay, so obviously Lucius is giving his revenant weapon.
Mm-hmm. They don't have much use here anyway, so.
Yeah. Oh boy, do I? Oh boy, do I actually get rid of? Since they do come from Niflheim, do I actually get rid of the spike that deals damage against bird opponents and the thorn that deals extra damage against poisoned opponents? Because those came from Niflheim too.
Like I said,
Gosh,
I don't want to confiscate your stuff. I just don't lose sight of it.
Very well. They're after the ethereal crystal anyway, so with any and all luck, just by giving them that, then they'll leave us alone.
Yep.
I mean, I guess I can give up the Gorgak infused vest.
The vest of Gorgak. The one memory of Gorgak that we had. No, one reminder of Gorgak. Gone.
I can give them back to you once you're done. Well, once you come back here.
Okay.
By the way, Lucius, Arkin and Weasel have reached Ironforge and have begun slowly moving the populace to a safe location. Thankfully, the town is pretty small, so they should be able to move them to a safe location by the end of the week.
You hear Lucius sigh with a bit of relief as if a massive weight is lifted over his shoulders, and he's basically just only able to whisper out, "Thank you."
But we can't keep them in hiding forever. They are a production town, as you know. So if you're going to make a trade with the Chaos Guild, do it by the end of the week. You have a ship, do you not?
Yes, we do.
It should take a week to get to the Mist Continent's port city, where the Forest of Fairies is located. Perhaps you can try trading with them there.
Okay. They said it needs to be in a mystery dungeon, so if we can get into a mystery dungeon within a week, then I will make the trade there.
Dedenne also recalibrated that badge you have. And she kind of hands you that badge. It seems like kind of cleaned it and polished it too. So you can stay in contact with us. Just don't let them see it.
Okay. Lucius takes it and then sort of keeps it with the rest of his stuff.
Now, I don't blame you if you don't want to do this. We would do it, but they've made it clear they may do something drastic if we intervene directly.
What are you asking?
If you don't want to do this,
Oh.
we, the Expedition Society, would if we could, but they've made it clear that they might do something drastic if we intervene directly.
Yeah. As much as I'd just like not to associate with them, for some reason they decided to hound us for a while, and if any other authorities try to do anything, I worry about the consequences.
Yeah, that's why I said don't let them see the badge.
Mm-hmm. I'll be sure of it.
Now on to the Forest of Fairies. Or should I say the Fairy Kingdom, if it does exist. You might want to gather some information about the forest before you just rush in. I do know it's a very treacherous dungeon.
Mm-hmm. That seems sound. Would you guys
The
happen,
library!
would you guys happen to know anything here, or would you have any recommendations of where we can go for information?
I'd probably ask the local cafe in Neutown. Ask around, there might be adventurers, explorers. They might tell you, point you in the right direction. And it's still up in the air if the Kingdom of the Fairies actually exists. This is just a theory going off a missing plate from Arceus.
If I know my comic book tropes, I'd say it probably would exist.
What is a... What is a comic book? Excuse me?
Have you not read one of those graphic literature books that they're now making? Seriously?
Oh! Graphic novels! Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. I enjoy graphic novels.
But if you intend to really go to the moon, he's going to have to stay behind here to be prepared to go there since he can't breathe. Well, you can, she says a little quizzically.
At least if the voice of death is to be believed, we can, yes. Yeah, we acknowledged this before, and we understand. You're still fine with this, right, Sora?
He reluctantly kind of moves his eyes around, and then he just nods. Very well. Well, you guys should probably head out right in the morning. You could stay here and rest.
Okay.
The HQ
We will do
is...
so.
I would not go outside. You probably saw what's out there. We'd help them if we could. It's just we're spread pretty thin.
Have you ever thought of recruiting more members to deal with that?
It's hard to process that many people during these recent times.
I get it.
Okay. Well, we'll rest here and we'll be out in the morn.
Okay.
Thank you for your help. I, and the rest of us, we all really appreciate it.
She nods.
Your hospitality is much appreciated.
All right. So, are we just going to fast forward to tomorrow, or did you want to do something in your room?
Well, once everyone's sort of gone, Lucius did have something he wanted to ask Mawel about.
Okay. Or is everyone gonna go?
With
Gonna go sleep
Lucius?
like a...
I think Raffa may be staying behind, but
I'm gonna go sleep like a baby.
I need my beauty sleep, darling.
Yeah, I guess Rafa's joining Lucius, whether Lucius likes it or not, and everyone else is just gonna disperse then.
yeah.
Okay, so after everyone except for Rafa disperses, Lucius...
She's still there, kind of like moving around some tools and putting away some of the gadgets she was using to analyze this rock crystal.
Okay. So yeah, Lucius takes a moment and sort of hesitates, but eventually he asks, Mawa, you're familiar with the past, right?
The past? What do you mean by that?
Specifically,
Past is
the
pretty
past of-
vast.
yeah, sorry. Specifically, the past of those 18 kingdoms, right?
I'm pretty well versed in it, yes.
Okay, well, as we said before, the Charmeleon who gave us this badge went under the name Audric. We don't believe he is the Audric from that past, but it has made me curious about sort of the tales and legends from the 18 Kingdoms.
Well, I know anyone going by that name would carry certain stigma, but what'd you want to know?
A couple of things. Maybe the Fire Kingdom's final days, or was there any reports of, like, well, I suppose there wouldn't be if it happened so long ago, but of people who went missing around that, in any important figures that might have went missing around that time, or something like that.
Besides Audric himself, I believe King Gustav went missing.
Gustav?
Yes. He was he was sort of the ruler of the water kingdom.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with any of the rulers' names aside from Audric.
Oh, well, Gustav was as I said, he was the king of the water kingdom, and he up and disappeared during the raid on the water kingdom, much like Audric did. No one knows really what happened to him. Wasn't killed. Wasn't around while he was conquered. Just up and disappeared.
Interesting. And what happened to cause the fall of the Fire Kingdom?
Oh, well, the remaining kingdoms all united together to take down Audric, who kind of spearheaded the attacks on the other ones. I believe it was water, poison, electric, normal, and dragon.
Interesting. So it was a combined assault then?
Mm-hmm.
And then Arceus himself came down and dealt with the aftermath?
Well, after, again, Audric disappeared, rumor has it that Arceus tracked him down and reclaimed all the plates he had tried to make off with. But then, while Audric's fate is unknown, what Arceus actually did to him, Arceus relinquished the plates from the remaining kingdoms. Due to the power struggle they caused.
Interesting. Okay. Do you know anything, like, about Audric personally?
No, I can't say. Well, I wasn't alive at the time, but
Fair enough.
he was.
Just legends or tales of his personality, I suppose.
I know as much as the history books say. He was a tyrant, power hungry.
I wonder why that Charmeleon willingly chose such a name then.
Yes, it's as I said, it's a stigma to, especially for a fire type, to carry that name.
I mean, he did kill how many Henrys? 12, 13?
Lucius just sighs and just face palms here.
Huh?
All I'm saying is he was probably not proud of the things he did and gave us a ruddy name because of it.
By the way, King Gustav, he was a. Just going through my notes here. He was an Ozumarill. If you wanted to know more about him.
Ozumarill. Okay. Interesting. Makes one wonder what exactly happened back then, but suppose it's difficult to find out about something so old.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, that's just the way history is. Can't really get motives from dead Pokemon. Well, I guess you guys could have. She kind of chuckles.
Well, we probably didn't end up seeing him in the land of the dead, so if he is or was there, he's probably moved on from it. No doubt the voice of death remembers that far back either.
Was that all you wanted to ask me? I'm sure I have a
Yeah.
book here you could maybe peruse through.
I wouldn't mind doing some reading since we're spending most of the day here. Sure, if you wouldn't mind me looking through it, I can.
All right. I expect it back, though. I don't want you to take it with you. I mean, for the night. Yeah. She kind of goes to one of her shelves and she kind of scans up and down. She pulls out a book titled The War of the 18 Kingdoms. And she hands it to you.
Okay. Lucius takes it and looks at the book curiously, and yeah, once he leaves, he'll probably spend his time reading through it.
All right. And so what I'll do for that is you could peruse it maybe through before you go to bed, and I'll give you proficiency when it comes to checks related to this topic.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. You're just gonna take that to bed with you?
Yeah.
All right.
Take it to bed, read it.
All right.
Not much else to do, so it's something to pass the time.
All right. The rest of you are just going to do your do your downtime things like training and magic tricks and stuff.
I have a few more things for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Sora can't turn into a sky form shaman. Do you know how or why that could be?
She's She kind of like searches her mind for a second, you know, eyes kind of rolling up. I think there are different species of shaman that don't interact with that flower like normal shaman do. And that might be one of the reasons. It is very odd. It is an oddity. But I haven't met a shaman who didn't transform when all the conditions were met. But I know that can happen.
Well, it was worth asking. I do hope that you help him train and get ready for going to the moon, because he's more than likely going to see combat up there if the humans really are making a laser.
Well, it's not going to take too long to make an apparatus for him to breathe up there. I suppose we can do the best of our abilities to train him to some degree.
That would help a lot. Or if nothing else, it would hopefully boost his confidence.
That, and if what you say about abolition is true, I would feel safer if he could defend himself.
So would I.
Or I would feel better, should I say. Is that all you wanted to ask?
There's So we're gonna have a major throwback.
Mm-hmm.
Raffa's going to pull out the rainbow.
Oh, okay. Oh. What is that?
So I found this in a dark matter tower that we conquered. It seems to have some resemblance to Ho-Oh, but we're not entirely sure what it does.
Wait, did you say dark matter?
Yes.
What about dark matter?
There was a tower that dark matter had constructed or something. I'm not really sure. It came and turned everyone into books in the town. And we went and finished off this crown that was possessing a Flareon, and then the tower fell.
So it's no more then, right?
Only the crown remains, which we froze in a block of ice and sent off with a detective.
Do you remember his name?
Dirge.
Dirge. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep a lookout for him. And where exactly was this tower?
It was in the grass continent.
More specific?
If I recall right, it was between Ironforge and Nagi Nada Port, the one that connects to the mainland.
Oh, that sounds like it would be...
We went there with Team Charm, so if you run into Team Charm, they can help you find it as well.
That sounds like somewhere between... It sounds like Fania. Yeah, so definitely have to dispatch a member or two there to make sure everything is all right and locate this detective. Well, thank you for telling me.
Well, I don't want anything like dark matter to come out again.
And
Everyone else in my group got off easy, but I came face to face with Yveltal, if you could even call it that. More like looked up and died.
oh, that incident. Yes, that incident changed a lot of lives. But back on the subject of your this bow here, this looks like it's from the Tree of Life.
From the Tree of Life?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of its leaves, or?
Well, it's a branch, pretty much. There's definitely power in this. Have you been holding it this whole time?
Yeah.
Have you noticed any of your abilities heightened, well, since you've got this thing?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, I wouldn't want to take it away from you. I would like to take it to study it, but I can't ask that.
Yeah, we might. I don't know. I might need it. I don't know.
Well, if it helps your journey, it's going to be treacherous in that dungeon. That's all I know. The Forest
Well,
of Fairies isn't for the faint of heart.
Maybe they'll respect it and the Tree of Life. After all, Xerneas is a fairy type.
I was about to say, yes, they do have somewhat of an affinity to Xerneas being fairies.
Well, I'll keep it with me and hope for the best then.
She gives you a affirming nod. Anyway, you should retire into your room. I'll clean up here. You don't have to worry about helping me.
Are you sure? It would be much faster if we both did it.
Yeah, but unlike you, I don't have I'm not leaving this place.
But I have a magic branch.
Well, yes, it would help the task of cleaning and make it go a little faster. If you're offering, yes, you can help.
Right, so yeah, that's what we're
Yeah.
gonna do.
Pretty much just the mess you made is what you're cleaning up here, and it doesn't take too long. It's just putting some stuff on the shelf, putting it in drawers, wrapping things up. All right, and yeah, you're set to maybe retire for the night. You walk in on Henry, maybe practicing a trick or two.
I need to find a way. I need to find a way to make this transformation ability much more versatile.
Are you gonna be up all night thinking about that, or are you gonna?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He's just gonna pull an all-nighter and practicing magic.
Okay, you're gonna suffer exhaustion then.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, just mark you have exhaustion then, and yeah, all right. I'll assume everyone goes to sleep. If you don't plan to like.
Does his reading.
Oh yeah, you're reading. Yes, you get your. Well, do you go to bed at a reasonable time?
More or less, yeah.
All right.
But he's not Henry and staying up all night.
All right. So, yeah, the night goes by. You all wake up all refreshed, except Henry, who has bags under his eyes. You're treated to dinner. It looks like when you get not dinner, breakfast. When you get your breakfast, it looks like some of it was like eaten, like someone plucked a few bites off the plate.
I ate the plate too.
What?
Nothing. I was just making a joke.
Until Mawel says it's all right. You should probably go now if you want you want to make it on time before we send Ironforge back.
Right. Will do. Once again, thank you for everything.
Don't mention it. And you should probably go out the back door, because things won't work out well for you if you go out the front door.
Yeah, that's probable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But owes me money!
Sora says to you, Sora's kind of like waiting back with Mawile. And he says, you guys are going to come back, right?
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Of course we're gonna come back. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I'll be ready when you come back.
I'll hold you to that.
He gives a warm smile, too.
We'll have a lot ahead of us when we do get back, so I hope you'll be as ready as we are.
Just to tell, and Mawile kind of like reiterates to you that the fairies are said to come from the moon. So if anyone has a way of traveling there, then it should be them. But like I said, they might be hostile.
Immediately thinks of Discord.
They might be
Bruiser.
hostile, and they might need convincing themselves to. I mean, they were conquered first, so they might not take to outsiders well.
You know, with any and all luck, they'll be willing to at least hear us out, if nothing else, but we'll have to see when we get there.
She leads you kind of this like secret passage in the wall that kind of goes leads to a path of stairs downwards. This should take you to the back. You might want to try to stay out of sight as best you can.
Will do. It was an honor once again, Mawile.
The pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, and then I guess we all leave.
All right. It's well lit down here. There's lighting somehow. And it eventually leads to this kind of like sliding stone that you can just kind of pull away, and you see you're at the back of the Expedition Society. Now, where do you want to go from here?
Well, the port, probably, in order to get our ship.
All right. You see you could either go like to where like the crowd is and try to sneak around them, but you could also kind of go on like the edge of the land, kind of like work your way to the port. You want to it might take a little longer, but you're sure no one will see you.
Yeah, let's go the long way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust any of our. Well, I trust Rodney's ability to be stealthy, and I don't trust any of the rest of us's ability to be stealthy. So.
I mean, Rosa did good for 2 turns.
All right, you step on these like kind of jagged rocks, and out. This is very uncomfortable. Let's do acrobatics checks just to make sure you don't fall in the water. Henry, you have
Acrobatics! I love acrobatics.
You have disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Oh.
Oh gosh. Let's see, I think that's.
Yes. The one
I'm
I'm
re-rolling that.
one skill I'm proficient at, and I have disadvantage.
There we are.
Why? I'm gonna fall into the crowd.
What is this garbage?
Oh my God, Henry's the only one who did.
You tripped me.
Well, no, Lucius didn't fall
He's
enough.
the exhausted one, and he got.
All right,
All
so
right.
yeah,
All right, what's going on? I'm very confused.
so Raffa, you take from falling in water. Oh my god, you take 6 damage.
God.
Oh my god!
Rodney, you take 4 damage. Or
Ow!
no, you only take 2 because it's not doubled because it's water. Okay, but yeah, you thought you kind of like fell on some sharp rocks as you lost your footing.
Wait, don't the cats have advantage on checks involving balance?
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Like if it's treacherous terrain, we can just walk through it.
Oh, this isn't difficult terrain. This is just balancing, so you get advantage. There you go. Okay, you don't erase that damage. It never happened, Rodney. And make another roll, Raffa, because your cat-like reflexes might save you. Yeah, they did. Exact same roll.
Oh wow! Both got 22s.
Okay, you don't take any damage. All right,
Safe.
you make it back to the ship. It seems to be in good condition. You still see the gigantic lineup for the Lapras travel liner, but you don't have to worry about that because you have your own ship, or as long as this weirdo is hanging out with you. Okay. You just gonna board your ship?
Can't wait for the day that finally the Lapras liner would finally be completely empty.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're probably just gonna board. Well, Lucius is gonna call out, "Hey, Alistair, we're coming on."
Oi! Crikey, you're gone for the whole day.
Yeah, it was a bit of a long meeting.
Yes, it was very long. We had a lot of things to talk about.
Where's the little grassy kid?
He's staying behind for a bit in order to get something done.
Yeah. Okay. I won't pry. I won't pry. So where are we going to next?
We're heading to the port city, No Town on the Mist Continent.
Oh, that's another week of travel. You sure you're ready for that? You didn't want to settle down in here?
Yeah, we're ready for that.
You're the boss. All right, all aboard.
Okay.
You're just gonna...
Lucius. Yeah. Now Lucius is gonna climb on.
Okay. You wanted to go like post haste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you're setting sail like almost immediately, and it's going to take if you want them to kind of haul ass there, it will only take 5 days, but you have a chance of maybe the boat breaking down or something bad happening. Or you can go at a steady pace where that's not as likely to happen, or you can go at a slow pace where it'll probably go really smoothly.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not allowed to go at a slow pace, so steady is probably what we're going at.
All right, steady will get you there in 7 days, like a week. Let's see here. Where's my percentile?
Oh, joy. Not for me to regret.
Yeah, going steady means that we go past the within a week threshold.
Well, no, it's still within a week.
You've arrived there just barely. We arrived here. We arrive just barely if it's 7 days. That's just,
Yeah, and then we just need to get into the dungeon before the day ends and make the trade before the day ends.
Yes. Which means Henry is going to haul all kinds of ass.
Okay, you make it there without any problems.
Oh, thank goodness.
It was like it was between all three rolls were between 1 and 10 and 20, which is like super good. All right, yeah. I'd say you maybe like even fixed up the ship a little bit more, because if you remember during the ship battle, you got like a big chunk of the ship taken out. You managed to patch that up eventually during this the travel time.
Nice.
And so you hear Lando, Noi Town ahead, rousing you from your slumber back in your crappy little cabins.
Like
Oh.
I thought it was No Town, NOH.
It's like Noi. It's like Noi. It's Noi. It's like noise without S. I actually looked this up just so I can pronounce it right.
Oh man.
Noi Town?
Yeah, apparently it's a Hawaiian word.
So instead of waking up,
Well, no, wait, as in Noie?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be Noye?
I don't know. That's just how I googled up how do I pronounce that, and I got Noi.
uh-huh.
But let's not dwell on that pronunciation.
Yeah.
All right, rather than waking up,
You can
normally,
call
I
it whatever
guess
you
Rodney-
want.
Okay, so
Roland.
yeah, after being called, Lucius climbs up to the top to, like with Lively Town, take a look at land.
All right. So this is
Ay, ay, ay.
again, this is a bit of a culture shock, and it's Lively Town had like kind of the colors and the stone structures. This one has like the stone structures, but it's all like it's built into a hollowed out rock. Like a lot of these buildings look like that. It's like all this like kind of same gray color, but it's not that gray where it looks dull. It's kind of that shade between white and gray. So it looks kind of pristine, but it looks pristine but bland at the same time. But you see the denizens of this town walking around about their business. There's a large fountain spewing water in the center. It looks very samey. There isn't very much diversity amongst the architecture around this place. Like every building looks exactly the same. Yeah, and
So, So Rodney, rather than getting up normally, was startled awake. Anyone who ever bothered to pay attention and notice would have heard through the walls, "Joyce, not the face!"
What?
What? What was that?
Who's joining us in the face?
joining you in the face.
I don't understand what
Very
joining-
soon. Rodney is the last one to go up to the deck. Absolutely tired.
I think he's cracked, Henry.
Oh boy.
None of you heard anything really strange, did ya?
I'm not sure, Roland. I didn't hear anything about joining in the face.
It's nothing. Nothing.
Oh, did you guys
Joyce
want
is
to...
no one important.
You guys are heading to a new town. Do you want to save again?
Sure.
You're given the little journal again.
Lucius is gonna indulge in this and save.
All right. Oh, you forgot
I'm
to
gonna write in the book.
you forgot to put the amount of time you've been on your journey. You have to put that in the journal too. How many hours have you put into this journey, Lucius?
That is a very good question.
How do we convert weeks and months into weeks into hours?
Well, it's got to be hours. We can't calculate it that way by months. It's impossible.
All right.
Well,
Let's try to make
technically,
that.
we should be 112 hours, and if we kept on to a 2-hour schedule each session, but that's not quite how that would work.
Well, write that in. You have to write
Does,
something. I noticed you haven't been recording your time. You've been recording your name and a bunch of other crap. I don't know what a lot of this other stuff is, but it's really important to put the time.
Listen, those are my witty preambles that are procedurally generated with every save. It's a fun indie game quirk that will make everyone laugh.
720 hours, one for every Pokemon in Gen 6.
Oh,
What's arithmetic check?
oh, that probably.
Lucius just puts 112.
Oh, in about 280 more hours, it'll just say 999, so it doesn't matter. Just permanently say that. Anyway, you eventually dock at the port, and you are free to explore.
Hey, everyone. Oh, sorry.
You
Continue.
you see the meandering streets. You see the Pokemon going about their day. They don't seem like there's anything really different about them than any other Pokemon. In fact, I'd say they kind of remind you more of the Pokemon on the grass continent, and not the all confined together like sardines in Lively Town. It's a lot more spread out. You see an Inteleon walking through the street. His arms are waving as he walks. He's doing the Shaggy walk from Scooby Doo.
Is this the normal Shaggy Walk or the Ultra Instinct Shaggy Walk?
The normal one.
Oh, I wanted the Ultra Instinct one.
Ultra Instinct Shaggy's a dead meme, Sonic Link.
All my memes are dead.
It gets revived.
Get
every now
with
and
the
then.
times.
Okay, so sorry.
Did you want to look for anything in particular, or do you just wanted to wander around the streets?
Look for the cafe.
The cafe. Well, since this place is bigger than it is in the game, did you maybe want to ask around, or are you just gonna wander throughout the streets?
I guess we'll ask around.
Okay.
We are on a bit of a time limit, so.
All
We
right.
need to go to the library too.
You see a Shuckle that seems to be slowly walking, or just crawling, slithering. His arms come out of the two holes, and he just pulls himself forward.
Excuse me, sir.
Why, hello there.
Oh gosh, I know where this is going.
Top of the morning to you.
Yeah. You wouldn't happen to know where the cafe in this town is, would you?
You just need to go to the northwest corner of the town. You know where northwest is, right?
Yeah.
My wife
think
is
so, man.
always telling me, you're never gonna find where northwest is. You should always carry a compass. Do you have a compass on you? Just so you can know where northwest is? Or northeast? Southwest? North?
Well, the port itself is facing to the west, so we go forward by right, and we go north, and we eventually go northwest.
Wow, you don't even have a compass on you.
His his two legs just kind of.
Anyway,
Is it hard to find your directions in the forest?
The forest? What do you mean by the forest?
In the fairy forest, would we need a compass in there, or is
Oh,
the sun visible?
the fairy forest. Well, that young lady is a mystery dungeon, so conventional tools like that won't work. And this is the forest of the fairies we're talking about. No one goes too deep in there.
Okay, well, thanks for the directions, and Lucius begins heading northwest.
Where's the library?
Oh, now that is at the southwest of the town. Do you know where southwest is?
Yeah.
Well, it's the opposite direction that Lucius is going currently.
Very good.
Not completely.
Well, actually, no. The opposite would be southeast. I would be going essentially.
You
I would essentially be going perpendicular.
you know how
But,
how I memorize the cardinal directions?
What?
Never eat shredded wheat. You
I
get
knew
it?
I knew it was
I was going to ask if it was never eat shredded wheat.
'Cause north is N for never. And you see, E is east, which is eat. And then you got the S. You'll never guess what the S stands for.
south.
South, which is shredded.
He like starts clapping again really slowly.
Oh no.
Wow, I'd give you a gold star if I had one. Now this is the money question. Do you know what the W stands for?
West.
Which is...
Wheat.
Oh, wow.
He goes and he like retreats inside of his shell.
The crowd
How
goes
does it-
wild.
How does he know the forbidden knowledge? How does he know the...
He must not live.
Anyway, okay, Lucius, you just kind of left, or are you watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lucius just after getting Lucius just kind of left, assuming everyone was going to follow him. So yeah, while the rest of them are busy with Shuckle, he's making his way to the cafe.
All right.
Guys, Lucia's leaving without us.
You see him like
Stubby legs, don't fail me now!
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, you you maybe catch up with Lucius, who's like already like halfway down 2 blocks, or he's like down the block in that case. But yeah, you eventually find the cafe, and the only way you're able to identify it is it just has this like kind of this little sign on the outside. It looks like every other building. But yeah, there's a cafe.
Wait, are we going speed mode where it would be better for Raffa to go to the library right now? Or are we going slow mode where we do both?
I mean, Lucius has already gone to the cafe, so if you're splitting off without him knowing. So
No, we caught up with you.
Yeah, they
We
caught up with
hoofed
you.
it.
a library.
The library could have information on the Forest of Fairies or on the Fairy Kingdom. There's numerous things that we could find from it. It's worth checking out.
We're on a really strict. If you want to check through the library, then you can, but try not to take too long. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'm going to focus on heading to the cafe regardless.
All right.
I'll go to the library so we don't waste any time.
Okay, meet us at the exit of town.
Okay.
All right. So you're just heading to the library then. The rest of you want to go in the cafe?
I am heading into the cafe.
All right.
Yeah.
Assume you're all going in there. So the interior of this place is, you see, this is kind of like where all the color has been hiding. Well, the color that isn't like gray. It looks like your standard Kangaskhan cafe. There's a lot of tables spread around. You see like Pokemon talking amongst themselves. Looks like rugged adventurers, and people are just there for a drink or a meal. Would you want to go? Where'd you want to go? There's Kangaskhan herself there, and there's certainly a variety of different Pokemon in here. Do you want me to like give you like kind of the rundown of like what they are, or did you just want to?
Lucius is going to go up and ask Kangaskhan if she has heard any word of any of these explorers checking out the Forest of Fairies first before anything else.
All right, so you walk up to her. Everyone seems to be like seated too. Well, not all seated, but they seem all preoccupied, and no one's really talking to her. And she says, "Oh, hi there, honey. What can I do for you today?"
Hi, I have a question, if you don't mind. I see that you've got a lot of explorer types in your cafe, and I was wondering if you happen to hear any word from any of them about possibly trying to explore the Forest of Fairies. My team and we all plan on going through that dungeon ourselves, and we've heard it's a rather dangerous place, so we would like as much information about it as we can before we mount our expedition.
Oh, well, I don't envy you going in there, honey. It's known for its illusions. Many adventurers and explorers headed into there at one point. Not many do it nowadays. But the greedier and more avaricious ones went very much deep into the Forest of Fairies and were never heard from again. Even rescue teams don't dare go in there. The illusions get that bad. But if you're keen on going in there, I would suggest maybe getting the help of a psychic type Pokemon, as they can help see through the illusions. And even if they are illusions and are not real, they can still do a lot of harm to you. And that's not to say there isn't real dangers in there as well.
Psychic type. Okay. Do you know any psychic types currently here that would be up to the task?
Oh, like I said, not many adventurers want to go in there. And even though a psychic type will help, eventually, if you go too deep inside, it seems like there's the same energy as what protects dark type Pokemon from psychic types, so it only help you so much. Another detail about that dungeon is the exit is right at the beginning, so you could leave as soon as you enter. But if you want to go deeper in and maybe make a name for yourself and get to an alternate exit, then well, I'm not stopping you, but I would highly suggest you not go into that dungeon.
We're not in a position where we have much of a choice, to be honest.
Well, like I said, I don't envy you, darling. But I would at least try to seek the assistance of a psychic type Pokemon.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, she nods to you, and you want to order anything?
Any recommendations?
You could try. Well, you seem pretty young. How about some pineapple juice?
Sure.
She kind of like goes below the table and starts. You hear the clicking and clanking of glasses. You get this.
Oh, a two. Oh, a two for me as well.
Okay, yeah, it's the same color as you. It's yellow.
Yes, same color.
Yeah, she catches you and she starts mixing them together and she puts three cups on the table. They have this yellow berry with leaves sticking out of the top, kind of on the side of the cup.
So that's 3 for the 2 of them, right?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
Henry's getting 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Daniel.
Then Henry hands over one of the glasses to Mimikyu because he knows he is not able to speak.
He kind of like pulls it inside of his his cloth.
Great. And what about me?
Well, would you like one too?
I prefer something a little bit more, well, growing up.
Okay.
Rowan deciding to get drunk before our expedition sounds like a great idea.
Yes, he's the weird adult hanging around a bunch of teenagers.
Oh, it's only
the
gonna be
hot
one.
sauce contest would return.
Listen,
Please help
listen.
us. Mr. Roland has been putting us in strange situations.
I just want. Listen, just make it small and just make it one, okay?
Okay. She goes below and she kind of like she seems to be like scanning below the table. And she like kind of points to one, and then you start hearing the production of this drink, and she puts it on the table, and it's this red drink. This red liquid.
Thank you very much. I say as I just take it and I sip it.
You sip it, a big sip or a little sip?
Just a little sip.
All right, do a Constitution saving throw.
Oh dear.
This was coming. I knew this was coming.
Constitution saving though, this is really one stiff drink, isn't it?
Have fun, Roland.
Okay.
It's really, really hot. Your tongue is burning right now. Well, you asked for something adult.
I didn't think it'd be spicy!
Well, you're gonna have to go get some moo moo milk if you want to stave that off.
Oh, I pay good money for this.
You gonna buy?
Somehow I'm the one who enjoys black coffee among us. Interesting.
Is there any moo moo milk for sale?
Oh yes. And she seems like she had it prepared for you.
Thank you. I say as I just take it and I just glug it down.
Okay, so that's let's see, that's 5 silver per drink. You got, so that is 2 gold.
Okay. Lucius hands 1 gold and nods to Roland to pay 1 gold as well.
I slam down 1 gold piece as I'm drinking.
Thank you. And yeah, it's not like a fix-all, Roland, but it's helping as you slowly like sip this milk. What are you doing with the the drink you got previously. Are you dumping it or just gonna leave it there?
I think I'm just gonna leave it there.
All right. Okay, what's your next? Or I guess we can go to Raffa. All right. You get to what you, if you're to trust this shuckle, you get to what you assume is the library.
All right, what do we got?
All right. When you go inside, it's a multi-floor facility here. Seems like there's actually Pokemon in here, like down at tables reading books. Kind of like I want to kind of. Okay, so when you enter, there's kind of like a staircase on either side that go up, and up those is kind of like this, like kind of this balcony that has a bunch of shelves on it, and like down on the previous floor, there's just kind of shelves, like an array of shelves all over the place on the bottom. Yeah, and you'd see some Pokemon at tables, like reading some books.
This is unironically probably the best library we've seen during the campaign.
Definitely. I think the one inside the Dark Matter Tower was pretty well kept too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those books were fresh off the press, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go looking for a kiosk or, the information person that knows the decimals of the library.
So you go up to that desk, and there's a Volbeat there.
Excuse me, are there any books on the Forest of Fairies or the 18 Kingdoms, perchance?
He points over to this like little card system.
Okay.
Just goes back to like sorting books.
Very helpful librarian.
10 out of 10.
And there's like he pointed to this kind of like box where you can see like these like alphabetically listed cards that you assume might direct you to the books you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I guess time to start looking.
All right, what are you looking for first?
I guess Forest of Fairies first, since that's the most pertinent thing right now.
All right, you. I'm not going to make you make checks for looking down an alphabetical list, but you find one, and it gives you. It's in section A, shelf 5.
And then,
meanwhile, you hear the demonic laughter from nearby.
No, that's just pedestrians.
All right, yeah, that's what you find.
All right, and then what's the section for something on the 18 Kingdoms or the Fairy Kingdom specifically, or the Moon?
Okay, that's 3 different things. Yeah, you.
That is 3 different things.
I'll say you locate like kind of all those subjects. And it directs you to them.
Okay. So I guess first we're going to section A5.
All right. This was the Forest of Fairies, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, there is a book titled Mystery Dungeons. Mystery Dungeons 101. The Dummy's Guide to Mystery Dungeons.
All right, let's bust open that index and see what we can find out.
Okay. You flip through the book, and you again, like these dungeons on the Mist Continent are in alphabetical order, and you reach the section that tells you about the Forest of Fairies, and it says as follows. More or less tells you what Kangaskhan Khan told Lucius, that it's known for its illusion. Psychic Pokemon could somewhat stave them off for a little bit, but as you go deeper, it's just kind of useless. No one has really seen the end of this dungeon since it was founded. Because the exit is right at the beginning, and usually adventurers go inside and don't go too deep, and maybe pluck a treasure or two and then just leave. You know that it's called the Forest of Fairies, but it's not really a forest. It could just be that you could be in the middle of an ocean. You could be in the middle of a snowstorm. It seems like it's just really random in there in terms of the environment. What else? That's the enemies aren't exclusive to fairies, but they are in there. And there are strange, just maybe they may not even be Pokemon as enemies in there. It's they may look like Pokemon, but they're not. And that's all about all you can suss from that. And that maybe took about an hour to peruse.
Oh man.
So let's cut back to the cafe. What are you doing,
Okay.
Lucius and gang?
Okay, so after taking the drinks and after Rodney has his thing, Lucius glances around to see who glances around for psychic types in the cafe.
All right, you see an Oranguru. You see a Espeon. You see a Girafarig. And you see a an unknown.
Okay, well, Quill would kill me if I didn't go to the Espeon first, so that's what I'll do.
All right.
No, go to the unknown.
If this causes something bad to happen, I blame you, Quill.
All right. He's currently talking to a Roserade right now.
Okay. Lucius walks up, waits for a good moment in their conversation that he can sort of go into, and then he'll talk.
All right. So he's talking to this Roserade, and then he kind of like notices you standing there. Says, "Oh, whatever do you want?" Just hovering there.
Hello. You're under no obligation to do this, but my friends and I plan on mounting an expedition to the Forest of Fairies, and we were told that a psychic type would be able to help us. Would you like to join our crew just for a bit to go through it, or yeah, would you like to help us with that?
You have to be joking. I enjoy my life, thank you very much.
Fair enough. And Lucius walks away.
Did you hear that? He wants me to go with the Forest of Fairies?
Sorry, Quill, we're not taking an Espeon with us. You may now be disappointed.
Now get the unknown and show him how it's done.
Okay, so our options were a giraffe rig and a Ranguro, an unknown, and what else?
I think that was it.
Okay,
Well,
Lucius
the
is
Espeon.
gonna. Oh yeah, and the Espeon, but the Espeon is.
Jizz is gonna try the giraffe rig next, I suppose.
All right. He seems to be just sitting by himself, like dunking his head, and then his tail's like dunking his head in his drink.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes. What is it?
Yeah, what is it, man?
His tail says.
My friends and I plan on mounting an expedition into the Forest of Fairies, and we were told bringing a psychic type along with us would be a great help. Would you like to join the expedition?
Well, it is true that bringing a psychic type will help stave off the illusions.
You still have to be cray-cray to go in there, man.
As he said, you would have to be crazy to go in there.
So I'll take that as a no.
Hell no, man.
I think it's very clear that as long as no one's getting anything out of it, no one is going to answer this call.
I offer my body.
Henry, no.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, well this isn't going well. If only Scholar were here, then we'd have a psychic type that might actually be willing to help us, but
Maybe. Yeah.
I'd never want her to
Oh,
take such a risk.
or I could call I could call my Isora. Get her in. She's
Am I really gonna have to do this?
her real name is Ivania. It's very
All right, Lee, you walk into here and you immediately notice Roland in the cafe. As you kind of just walked in here, maybe to get a drink. You see,
As Lee does this, Roland is gonna take out, like, let's say 20 gold coins.
Mhm.
Maybe let's preferred measure keep 30 in the back pocket just in case. It's gonna be like, all right, hold on, I need to prepare myself for this one. This is gonna be a long speech.
Gosh.
Anyway,
So
I would like to ask any psychic type who is interested if they were willing to go into the fairy forest. And now I know that some of you might not do it for free. So, how would you like it if we did, let's say, I take 30 out of the pocket. 30 gold! Would anyone take it for 30?
you kind of get that thing where they all kind of like look at you. Like there's kind of, it like goes to stone cold silence and they look at you. And they all just kind of turn back and go back to their business.
I don't
Don't
think
unknown.
looking at Roland.
I don't suppose 50 would change your mind then?
Let me tell you, young man, no one with a sane brain cell in their head will go into that forest.
yeah, you're never gonna get anyone.
But we have to. Who could possibly ever want to go with us then?
at this point, Lee walks over and he says, "Well, I kind of wanted to go in there."
I turn and I go, what the heck are you doing over here, Lee?
I could ask you the same question. What the heck happened to you? You just disappeared on us.
A long story. Friends found Niflheim. Turns out, the orb makes a really good teleporter.
Teleporting orbs. Okay.
Alright.
Anyway, so you guys are going into the Forest of Fairies, huh?
Right. And,
Aren't you that mind foo that was locked up in the brig?
Oh, so you remember me. I'm flattered.
I don't know if that really counts as remembering, but
That's close enough. Glad to see you, by the way, Lucius.
did we ever introduce ourselves? I don't remember telling you my name.
Sort of, not really. I'll explain it later if we have the time.
So maybe give a bit of a description of Lee, just for the audience.
Right, audience.
How's-
So for those of you who don't know Lee, Lee is a mean foo. He's pretty run of the mill, nothing too out of the ordinary about him. He carries around a quarterstaff like all the time, and he wears a black headband. And he's about 3 times taller than the rest of the group that you're familiar with, except for Henry.
well, you're welcome
Good.
to join us, Lee, but you're just a fighting type, aren't you? Unless you were to happen to brought something back from the multiverse you've been talking about.
Oh, I wish. I got
Okay,
so-
excuse me. Multiverse and this Lee character. I'm very confused.
Long
Trust
story.
me, it wouldn't help if I explained it to you, kid.
I am not a child.
You don't look like you could be any older than 17.
I'm actually 1 year younger.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Also, I'm larger than you, technically speaking. But yeah,
Well,
Lee-
clearly bribing anyone to join our expedition is not going to work. What now?
Well, I might not be a psychic type, but I do have something that could help with this whole thing. I can read auras, and last time I checked, illusions don't have auras. So at the very least, I'd be able to tell if any apparently living thing was real or not.
The case of trap detection. Wonderful idea.
Okay. So you know Roland. Roland knows you, and you apparently know me somehow. But why are you here, and why are you even interested in the Forest of Fairies in the first place?
Well, you see, Team Shadow is just starting to try to get off the ground. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Phantom Thieves, but we used to be those. We're not really thieves anymore. Trying to go clean and all that. So,
I've heard the whole diatribe. No need to explain it too much.
yes.
oh, well, good. That makes things easier. So, I came across a client who wanted me to go into the Forest of Fairies, search for treasure, bring it back to him, that sort of thing. I figured, well, if there's treasure there to be had, we're gonna need money trying to set up Team Shadow. So, might as well plunder some of that and bring it back. And, we're trying to be an exploration team, so if we can make a name for ourselves other than being those guys who are formerly thieves, that'd probably help out with business quite a bit.
Last time I checked, I thought our names were just basically wiped out.
Really. No, because that's not what I've heard. As I went around, people remembered us, but they just knew us as the guys who suddenly, out of nowhere, no one wanted them arrested anymore.
Right. Can I refresh my memory real quick to see if I remember a similar thing? Because I was with them for at least a while, surely I would have noticed.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I'll leave that to you if you remember or not, just because that's kind
I
of.
guess I was just so happy of not having a stigma on me that I didn't notice.
Yeah, it took a while for us to get more evidence to show that this was the case. You disappeared pretty quickly after we found you. Or after you guys found me, rather.
No kidding.
So yeah, that's why I'm here.
Oh, great. I guess it's the 5 of us going into the woods.
I say, could you maybe take your conversation elsewhere?
Yeah, get out of here, man.
Ah, very well. Let's go. Yes. Sorry to disturb you.
Let's go back to Raffa. Okay. There's one more thing about this forest that I forgot to mention. It seems that the maybe like locks and mechanisms cannot be disabled through non-magical means, meaning like you can't unlock a door with these tools.
Noted.
Which book do you want to go to next then, Raffa?
Just cue rolling.
Fairy Kingdom.
Fairy Kingdom. Okay. What you were looking for? Fairy Kingdom, Moon, and the 18 Kingdoms? Is that all the books you were looking for?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Yeah, you see the section where this one is supposed to be. It's in like X12. Section X, like shelf 12. And I assume you're heading towards there.
Yup.
All right. When you get there to X12, the book is not there.
Oh no. Are the books next to it any good?
They're on like different things, like searching for books for dummies, naming your ships.
I don't suppose.
Rule
there's a
number
picture of
1,
Phantom on the back
never,
of that.
ever, under any circumstances, name your ship Excalibut.
What was that, Fire Alley?
I don't suppose there's a picture of Phantom on the back.
Yeah, there's a Zorua, but it's like not him.
Oh man.
Apparently, Zoro are just notoriously bad at naming ships. Good to know.
All right, so that makes the Kingdoms book next.
All right. Yeah, you find it on the card, and yeah, it's there. It's the same book Lucius had.
Okay. Quickly absorb that information then.
All right. Yeah, so I'll let you do that for an hour, and you'll have proficiency.
Yay.
All right. Okay, while you're doing that, let's cut back to the gang. Yeah, maybe you're still in, you just found a table and you're talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, this happens to be the guy who traveled through the multiverse with Lucius's cousin, Agimus and Fatima de la Cruz.
Wow, you actually remembered her last name.
You were the one who told it to me. It apparently stuck out in your head so much.
Honestly, I'm not sure how I remembered it in the first place.
The point is, they traveled through the entire multiverse, has made some alternate versions of ourselves, well, most of us, I would assume, and basically wished upon what would be the proper metaphor?
Well, it took the form of a Jirachi.
Wished upon a Jirachi in order to make their wishes come true. Just so happened, Quill's wish involved us clearing our names.
Who's Quill?
I am so dumb, sorry. Lee's wish... Let's rewind that a bit. Lee's wish was clearing our names. I'm
Oh,
sorry, it's been a long day at work. I am tired as hell.
It's fine.
okay. That sounds. Wait, my cousin?
Yeah,
Yeah, Senna, wasn't it?
Gorbunny
Huh.
about this tall.
I
Been a
told
while.
you about her. Remember? About her saying that she was alright?
Yeah, I just wasn't aware that was all connected or anything. Okay, well, your multiverse thing sounds a little insane, but
Can you really
Believe
say that
me,
you've been through anything more believable?
no, which is why I just took it at face valuable and say, okay.
yeah, the land of death is probably just about as insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the main point. If Roland trusts you, and if Senna trusts you, I'm more or less willing to trust you, but you understand that the Forest of Fairies is very dangerous, right?
Yeah, I'm well aware. I initially came here planning to go in by myself, but after hearing some of the horror stories, I figured it wasn't a one-man job.
Funny how this works out. And I do trust Lee enough to be what's the word? A uh, a well ready-made combatist. Sorry, the words escaped me.
Okay.
I expect him to be a good fighter at the very least.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
not
punch things
sure if I can
real
say the
hard.
same about his personality.
Eh.
Personalities don't match, bud. Sorry, what can you do about it?
No offense taken. Normally I
Okay.
just let Norm or Phantom do all the talking.
Okay, well, if you're sure, then you're sure. We've got some business to do the moment we enter the dungeon, though, so I don't know if you want to come in after us after we're done with our business or what, but I
See what the
would.
harm in me being there is.
Extra danger, more or less.
I think I know a thing or two about danger. I think it'll be fine.
If you say so, then, well, I guess we have an alliance then.
Sounds good to me. You guys like punching things, right?
I'd
Uh,
rather
Now,
settle things with words nowadays, but it is a mystery dungeon.
no, listen. I prefer to punch things in elaborate ways.
Lee looks incredibly interested at this, and he's like, "Oh, really?"
Elaborate punching. Punching so hard that I can fire a beam of electrically charged kinetic energy from my hands. And it would cause an explosion. I call it the Denki Dama.
Oh, really? Now that sounds
Yes.
interesting. I hope I get to see it.
Careful, guy's got an explosive personality.
I suppose he does.
You wouldn't happen to also know the directions to the dungeon, right?
You do.
I do.
Okay, then I guess we should first head to the exit of town because we're meeting up with our other teammate there, but once we all reach there, we'll just head to the dungeon then.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, Raffa. Yeah, you have absorbed. You sped read through this, like kind of like putting your paw along the book, flip page. You've like digested this information, so if it comes up, you can, go through your memory and perhaps recall it. Do you want to go look at any other books?
I mean, I could go look for things on the moon, but unless it says blue moon or some or anomalies of the moon or laser beams from the moon?
Unfortunately, this is also a much broader subject, so you might get like the other two are kind of like really specific. This is the moon. You can get like anything about the moon.
I
Yeah,
think
figured.
that if we're talking about lasers on the moon, that would be under science fiction at that point. You'd read a science fiction book saying laser from the moon, invaders from outer space.
That's no moon.
That's no moon, that's a spaceship. Things like that.
Look at the giant space portcullis that it for some reason has.
So in other words, your search
In
might
other
be
words-
fruitless.
We've hit the end of the road. And it's time to hit the road, as it were.
All right, you're just gonna go to make your way to the exit of town.
Yeah, I assume that magically the time will align.
All right.
Well, I mean, I'd actually assume we'd get there a lot sooner than you and be waiting for you.
Wow. You don't have any faith.
Well, DM?
Rafa spent like 2 hours in there, and you spent a conversation, so yeah, you probably get there a lot earlier.
And there you go.
And then, and so it's about midday now. As you arrive, you see another party member with the group, Rafa.
You realize that's not a psychic type, right?
Oh, so you heard that information too.
Mawile told us, remember?
No, she
I just
didn't.
give. No, she didn't.
I thought she did. I could have
No,
sworn
that
she
was-
said something.
That was the book.
Oh, that must have been something that happened off screen that I thought of. Never mind.
You think it's Mawile that told you.
It was actually someone in this very call.
Oh no.
No,
I just.
no, Kangaskhan. Yeah, Kangaskhan told us, and I guess you must learn from the library something about the psychic type. Lee here believes that his ability to detect auras will serve as a replacement, since otherwise it appears no psychic types here care to even try.
So,
he
this
can sense
is-
aura.
Yeah, he can sense aura.
Wonderful. So he can tell us that a door has no aura, just like how we could tell that by looking at it.
Well, I can
Mhm.
also sense magic.
So,
All right, that will be
the-
good because the doors in there are magic.
He just
so
kind of he gives her an unimpressed look.
this would be Rafa, our kitty cat with spunk.
So I noticed.
Point is, Rafa, this was sorta. He was heading there anyways. We're heading there, and since none of the psychic types in town seemed to be interested, this was basically the best option we had.
Wow.
Well, I can also tell you that we won't know what we're up against in there. From what I've read, there are Pokemon species in there that have never been seen in the wider world. It's as if it makes its own.
Created some Pokemon?
Yeah, could be based off of your worst fears. I don't know. It's kind of hazy how or why. No one really knows. It's actually really fascinating.
Ah.
Hmm. Well, we got what information we can get here, I think, and we at least have some protection from the illusions, so we're burning daylight, so we should head to the forest, as we should just head there now.
Right, 1 second. Everyone huddle up.
Why?
Just trust me on this. It's a group effort. And you know, I saw this in the sports teams. That they do this all the time. Come on, huddle up like this. holding hands together, hands on the backs, yeah? You
Lee
get what I
gives him
mean.
the weirdest look, and he's like, "Is the holding hands really necessary?"
Lucius is basically doing the same thing right now.
Yes, let's hold hands. Come on, let's go.
All right, you know what? If you don't want to hold hands, just get close, all right?
Come on.
This is
let's
like
hold
a
hands.
group thing.
Lucius eventually just rolls his eyes and indulges.
Lee
you got
does
something
about the
against
same
holding
thing.
hands?
Now, I'm not really much of a group speaker. Most of my time in Team Shadow was mostly punching first and asking questions later. But here's the best information I can give. Stick together, stay alive, don't do anything stupid. Alright? You're all in agreement?
So
All
pretty
right.
much common sense.
And let's get through this one alive. 1, 2, 3, hey!
Hey!
Okay,
Lee stands
let's
there
go.
and doesn't really do anything.
Alright, team, let's move to the forest.
All right, so it should take you like... It shouldn't take you that long to get to the entrance to the forest. It's actually pretty close to the town itself. Lee knows the way, so... let's just see the unlikely chance that we might hit something. Oh.
Oh, great.
That sounds good.
Something may or may not have happened that you might see come into play later. Anyway, yeah, after hiking through this continent, you notice like this layer of like fog, like it's kind of like you're wading through the mist here as you go through as you make your way to the dungeon. Like you can kind of like swat it away and see your feet, but you eventually get to this like opening in a rock. You don't think you can't really imagine how this would be a forest of fairies when it's like a hole in a rock. But this is apparently the place that Lee has guided you to.
Well, this is it.
That sounds like what the rest of the book says. It basically said, you will see everything you could ever think of in there. So, forest, cave, sand, whatever. As random as the Pokemon things.
All right.
You go inside?
Yeah.
Heroes together. What's the next snappy line?
Okay, here we are. Yeah, okay, so, sorry, I ended up somehow not being able to speak for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going inside.
All right.
Yeah,
Heroes together. Henry, what's the next line?
United we
United forever.
United we roar.
Heroes together, united, we roar!
Lee
I'm
leaned
really
down
going
toward-
with that. I just came up with that off the top of my head.
Lee leans down toward Lucius and he says, "Are they always like this?"
Usually no, but, well, Henry's usually yes, Roland usually isn't.
Also, I don't usually use my real voice.
I feel so privileged to hear it.
Yeah, we're entering.
All right.
It's almost 10 o'clock. We gotta wrap it up.
You feel the darkness of the dungeon kind of envelop you. And as you enter, you see... Let's see what you get. Oh, cool. And... Alright. You see yourself in like kind of like... Not really a forest, like the trees are like enclosing on you. But there's like kind of... There's trees scattered all around, and it's snowing right now. There's actually snow on the ground too. You could like plop down and make snow angels if you really wanted to.
A snowball and throws it at the back of Roland's head.
Make an attack roll.
Let's see here.
So that would be like dexterity, I guess. I don't think you're proficient in snowballs. Or are they a monk weapon?
Well, I mean, if it's a simple weapon, it's a monk weapon, so...
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll say a snowball is a simple weapon. No.
Did I do it wrong?
Wrong dice indentation. It's just
Wrong
exclamation.
dice.
Oh, okay, got it. It's been so long since I've used parser. There we go.
Oh, yeah, you got him. I won't make it do any damage. Unless you...
Well, yeah, it's a snowball.
Unless you put a rock in it. But...
No.
Yeah, but
yeah.
you don't know if these snowballs are actually made of rocks.
So you feel just this impact of the back of your head, Rodney, as you maybe like almost fall over.
Oi, oi! I turn back to see who threw it.
Lee has his hands behind his back, and he's just kind of looking off into nowhere innocently.
Yeah. I can't really make you roll for it because this is like a player thing, so you could choose to...
I'll make the perception check anyway, who cares?
I'll let you make the perception check and you decide, though, is what I'm saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've already got
No.
a number in mind.
I'll do it.
I have the number in mind.
Alright.
It'd be more insight, if anything, but...
Insight. Perception or insight, what should I do?
I mean,
Insight is technically what you'd.
yeah.
Insight is technically it.
Yeah, sure.
When has
Insight.
Lee ever put his hands behind him?
D20 plus
If
7
your
then.
hands have to be in front if you want to punch.
Yeah, you know.
Oi, Lee.
What? I didn't do anything.
But I should also point out that, like, you came in here and there is, like, a door that goes back, too. Right behind you.
Okay. So as soon as we come in, while the tomfoolery is happening, Lucius takes a deep breath, goes to Mimikyu, and says, "Can I have that bell that summons the Chaos Guild?"
He kind of shuffles around. He pulls out that drink. He just pulls it back in, and then he gets the bell.
Okay, Lucius takes it and he says, "Okay, everyone, be ready. With any and all luck, this can be over and quick as soon as this could be over and done quickly, but if not, be ready for anything." Lucius takes a deep breath. Before he does that, he places the expedition gadget inside. He hands Mimikyu the expedition gadget for him to place in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Lucius takes a deep breath, and he rings it.
All right. It lets out this kind of like ding 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 ding. And yeah, you see him do this, Lee. Or you hear it while you're arguing with Rodney. You hear this ringing bell.
Alright, here we go.
And a few minutes pass and nothing happens. And then from behind a tree, you see a familiar figure. It's a fire type Pokemon that long snout. It's Salandit. And he says to you,
So you finally called us. I assume you have it.
Yes. Do you have Nocturne?
This way.
and he seems to be wanting to. He seems to be like ushering you, or asking you to follow him in a direction.
Alright, lead. Don't make any sudden movements.
Don't
Just
worry, don't
follow
worry.
the lead and don't do anything stupid.
Lucius follows along. He's being very careful and cautious, but he does follow.
How closely are you following behind this guy?
Not very. Enough to keep him in sight, but not to be too close.
Henry's
I don't
Henry's following close because he wants his girlfriend. Damn it!
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know about you, but if there's something goes on, I'm sure Henry's gonna grab the thing's tail and start swinging him around.
Give me my girlfriend!
He sees you walk along with this guy until you like hit this like there's like a stone wall in the way. And he just kind of like looks at it and then he swats it, and it just kind of like dissipates. Eventually you see another figure ahead, and Entropy, he kind of just walks off to the side, and the figure he kind of like leaves you in front of is a Fennekin. And
That's not my girlfriend.
she says to you, "Come with me. He wants to speak to you."
Okay.
You mean
Will we be able
Discord?
to? Will we be able to come back here after we're done?
What do you mean?
Back to this dungeon after we're done speaking.
We're not leaving this dungeon.
Oh, okay.
Come with me. And she starts walking in another direction.
Lucius follows
Wait a
along
minute.
again very cautiously.
And
So is there base in the Forest of Fairies the whole time?
and she leads you. She starts walking through these woods too. These snowy woods. That you eventually get to this like big cliffside. And you're all on kind of like the edge of it. And she kind of just swats at it too, and then like the hole disappears and it just reveals more woods. You're lucky these illusions don't affect us.
How'd you get that?
Just follow me. And she eventually leads you to two figures. And she nods at them and she walks in the other direction. And these two figures are the Meowstic pair.
Erebus and Nyx.
Erebus, Nyx. Been a while.
Long time no see. Where's my girlfriend?
Henry,
Hush, Henry,
patience.
patience.
You'll see her soon enough. He wants to speak to you.
Okay.
And they begin
Hee hee.
floating too. They begin floating and leading you on. You just kind of like baton pass to these different people. There is a Ursa ring in your way, but they just kind of like they don't even like acknowledge it like the other ones did. They just kind of float through it and it just kind of disappears. But you're following them, and they lead you to another figure. One who's like crossing his arms, kind of like patting his foot. And they float off in another direction. Well, well, well. You sure picked a hell of a spot to do this exchange, says this Clefable.
It happened to be the most convenient spot on our little journey we're having.
Well, as much as I'd love to sit here and talk to you, actually I wouldn't. I have to take you to go see him.
Oh, so you're not him.
Oh, I'm not him.
Who is he?
Oh, you'll see
We'll
soon
probably
enough.
find out in a second, Henry.
So, Discord, he's leading you, but he kind of like looks over his shoulder at you, and you see him like sneer.
Don't you sneer at me.
And he leads you to this kind of the sky above you is like kind of getting darker and darker.
Oh my.
And he leads you to this clearing where there's kind of like this circle of trees around you.
Oh.
And he walks ahead and He says, "Wait there. He should be out shortly."
Okay.
And he walks into the clearing. In this clearing, there's kind of like a rock face too, where there's kind of like a little small cliff, like it's like a miniature Pride Rock off to the side. But there's kind of trees surrounding you. They're mostly like dead trees too. Like they don't have any leaves. They're just kind of how trees would look like in winter.
Like, is this the part where we get a Zygarde?
He's been gone for like 5 minutes. Is there anything you want to do to digest this, or are you just gonna sit there and wait in silence?
Throw snowballs at Pride Rock.
All right, you can throw snowballs at Pride Rock.
We will not be throwing snowballs at Pride Rock.
I can't believe
yes,
you.
we will teach Simba who's boss.
But are besides that, are you just gonna sit in silence and wait?
Lucius is mentally preparing himself, but otherwise, yeah.
All right.
You can see Rodney crossing his arms, and he's just breathing in and out
Henry's cracking his knuckles.
and out.
You start to hear the crunch of footsteps coming from in front of you, like in the snow.
I close my eyes, and now I open my eyes to see.
No, they haven't hit you yet. Well, they haven't reached you yet, but they're coming from
All right. Well.
behind the trees.
All right.
Slowly, they get closer and closer. It sounds like a smaller creature. It's not like heavy set footsteps, as much as you could tell from the snow anyway. But they get closer and closer, and from behind the trees appears a familiar figure. And he says to you, "To be continued."
Oh no, Roundabout by Yes is playing.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah, you have.
No, I've faked out you this I've done this fake out one other time too. You see the figure of a small bluish black creature with a little feather sticking out the side of his head. You remember him from the ship at the beginning of your journey.
So it's you again,
Wait,
isn't
are
it?
you serious? Is that Sneasel? That was super creepy.
I should have known it was you all along.
Londo?
Pleasure to meet you again, Lucius.
Oh shoot, he knows everyone but me. Including...
I mean, I don't know this London person.
Lee, I'll leave it up to you. You may have recognized this guy from when you were on the ship, but it would have been very brief and in passing. But
I should have figured it was you all along.
He may have a blurry remembrance of there being something that may have looked like a Sneasel on the ship, but he probably has no idea who this guy is.
Henry remembers a Sneasel. He just doesn't remember a remarkable Sneasel.
I should have known that it was probably you this whole time, Londo.
Oh, so you're not surprised to see me then?
I am.
At this point, we've been through heck on Earth. At this point, anything's possible.
I thought you died on that ship.
I mean, Rodney is trying to secretly hold his surprise too. He wasn't obviously seeing it. He's just playing it for performance.
Well, unexpected things did happen aboard that boat, but here I am in the flesh.
So you're Narlethotep?
How'd you figure that out?
I believe it's Nyalat Hotep. What? I
But
read literature.
I believe we're here for business.
He kind of puts his claw to his mouth and he whistles. And you see the other members kind of like walk out from behind the tree, and you see Discord kind of walk out on Pride Rock.
Yeah, we're here on business. You have
There you go.
you have Nocturne.
You'll see her. Do you have the stone?
You'll see it.
Show me the stone, please.
Just show him the stone, but you're not.
Lucius is going to take out the ethereal crystal.
Don't hand it to him. Just show it.
Now, Nocturne.
Those two have her. He points to Erebus and Nyx. They'll let her go. As soon as you give me the crystal.
You know, typically
To
when
make
it's like
this, to make sure neither of us are lying, would you mind submitting to Zone of Truth? I will only ask you if they will give it to I will only ask you one question, and that way I can discern if you're being truthful.
Well, normally I wouldn't succumb to negotiations, but why not?
Okay. Lucius cast Zone of Truth.
All right, he succumbs to it.
Will we receive Nocturne the moment you are handed the crystal? That's all I want to know.
I have every intention of giving her to you as soon as I get the crystal.
Very well. Lucius hands over the crystal. And Zone of Truth.
He picks it up off the ground, and he kind of nods at Erebus and Nyx, and they nod back, and they hold out the crystal and their own like necklace crystal things, the ones around their necks, and there's this bright flash of this radiant white and blue, and then you see a knocked out Pokemon like in front of you, which is Nocturne.
Oh.
Raffa's gonna go over to her. I don't know if anyone else is.
I am. I'm concerned about my girlfriend.
Thank you. And with that, our business is concluded.
Oh, no, it's not yet. I want you to witness the main event.
Main event?
He kind of looks
Main
at the
event.
he kind of like looks at the crystal and just throws it over his shoulder.
Well, we won't be needing that.
Oh. You
What?
put us on a wild goose chase, you dog!
Oh, no. I, in theory, needed this crystal. You see, we're constructing certain items that require need a set of steps in order to construct them.
Interesting.
That useless crystal is not involved in any way. That crystal you gave me might be fake for all I know. It doesn't matter though.
Oh, it was a real crystal. It was an actual ethereal crystal. It is garbage.
Yes. But you see, the thing about an ethereal crystal is no Pokemon on this planet knows what it looks like except for one. Do you want to guess who that Pokemon is?
You?
Mm-hmm. And it looks exactly like an ethereal crystal, so even if it's fake, I know you went to the land of the dead. And how many of there were you? How many went with you? 1, 2, 3, 4. And that other one. That makes 5. I was going to do it myself, but that boy beat me to the punch on the ship. Tried to get
What
it.
do you mean? You mean Bacon Laser?
No, the Piplup.
Piplup?
Rain.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to touch that statue. That's the whole reason I was on the ship. But he did it in the middle of the night. Put a temporary hold on my plans.
I see. You would have gotten the plans if you were to touch the statue.
I assumed for all of us to go to the land of the dead, but you did it for us.
But you having seen an ethereal crystal before implies that you've already been there before.
Oh, yes, I have. I'm a lot older than I look. But the point is, last time I went there, I needed to construct a certain item. And now we're going to do that right now. He nods at all of the other members, and all of the members pull out these kind of teal, blue, and green scarves.
Oh no.
They all put them around their like necks and arms. And he holds up this this other stone from it was in his other hand. And they all begin glowing.
Oh crap.
You see, we're not your conventional team. I may have organized this group and gave them power nobody else could offer, but these Pokemon don't bend a knee to me. If I'm being honest, all of them are as selfish as you can get. The only thing preventing us from collapsing in on ourselves is we merely all have a similar goal. The world rebelled on us, and therefore we will rebel on the world. A world where the strong trample the weak. A world where the powerless when the weak... A world that becomes powerless when the weak are left in charge. A world where notoriety trumps virtue and justice. A world that miserably steals away for self-preservation. And a world that demands sacrifice from whoever they deem their savior. We are the Chaos Guild.
And you just see this like piercing light. And they're gone.
Uncheck the rainbow in the book.
And
Immediately.
that's where we'll end.
Alright. I'll
Yeah.
just make a note of it here.
There we
Oh
go.
boy.
All right. Yeah, you saved your girlfriend, Henry. Yay!
We got a psychic type. Guess we don't need punchy guy anymore.
Aw.
Okay.
My girlfriend is saved, but at what cost?
The only thing we do know is they haven't put their plan through the motion just yet. We still have time to save it.
You still have time to
What?
save the world. We have very little time to do so.
All right, so we'll end there. We went a little overtime. Usually we do this, but I figured we should probably get to that point. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks as we continue through the Forest of Fairies.
Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.